In this video, I'm going to show you how to service your brakes. This is not changing the brakes, but just maintaining it. Don't forget to check out the clip at the end of the video for more information on the channel. But in case you don't get a chance to, let me know your feelings. Share it on the video. That means liking, disliking, commenting, and subscribing. Let me know what you think, and that also helps the channel grow too. So, what do you need to get this job done? Well, it shouldn't really be much more than what you see here. There's a couple things that you don't see here, but I'll talk about it anyways. First, your jack stands. Of course, safety first when you're doing something like this. Whatever tools you need to take off your wheels, so torque wrench, impact gun, breaker bar, impact sockets, whatever size is appropriate for your car. And then, of course, the stuff you need here. So some disc brake cleaner, or sorry, I should say disc brakes cleaner altogether, not just for the pads, but rotors, everything. You'll see that. A pan, that's really to catch the fluid off of this. Something to spray onto the back of the pad. So whether it be something like this brake quiet, or whether it be some grease or something like that, whatever you put on there. Everyone has their preferences. And then some caliper lube. I'll just show you that there. And that is for greasing up the pins and stuff like that, the caliper pins, which again, you'll see in a bit. And that's all you really need to get this job done. So first thing you want to do is check your brake fluid. Make sure the level is good. Make sure the fluid has a good hue to it. If you see through here, I don't know if you can see through it or not, but it's still got a kind of a golden color to it. It hasn't darkened or anything like that. So you want to check that, make sure the level is good. It's within the minimum and the maximum ranges. Then you want to race your car and make sure it's supported with jack stands. As always, make sure safety first. Next, you want to visually inspect it. Check all your things, check your brake lines, make sure there's no leaks. Now, I sprayed down here, I kind of just rinsed out the wheel well a little bit. So, you know, that's just water you're seeing. There's no leaks here, but you want to be checking for any leaks. You want to be checking around the bleeder screw, see if there's any leaks around there, any fluid coming out. You want to be checking just anywhere around, seeing if there's any leaks coming out here, coming through from the piston or anything like that. You'll check that further when you take this off to service it, but you're just kind of doing a visual inspection, checking the rotor. Again, because I rinsed it, it's got this kind of discoloration, but normally you check it, make sure there's no scratches, dings, any gouges, anything like that. You check the front and back if it's possible. Sometimes, like this here, it's kind of hard to check the back, but many cars at least has some opening somewhere. This one does not, but some have an opening where the shield is. You can actually take a look at the back of the rotor. So you just want to be inspecting all this just to make sure everything looks good. Next up, you want to just put a pan underneath and spray some brake cleaner on there. In this case, for example, CRC brake clean. And just spray it on and just let that sit and permeate for a minute. Give you a chance to kind of really look everything over, check the conditions of things. If you have fancy calipers like this, you can get a cloth and kind of clean them up a bit. Anything like that is now the time to do it. Now, I should warn before you move forward, make sure you're doing this at a time of day when you have access to a parts store or something. And the reason I suggest that is, let's say you go and open everything up, you find out the pad has become dislodged from the backing plate. You know, caliper bolt is seized or breaks, you need a new caliper. The last thing you want to do is be taking this off and servicing it, and next thing you know, you're right out of luck. The car is now locked up. You have to wait till tomorrow to get a new part or something. So you want to try and do this something on a day when, you know, a part store is available, if you need to. Okay, so next up, we're going to start by doing, as you can see, I've cleaned up the caliper a little bit more. So we're going to start by the bottom bolt. So we're going to be greasing these up, but we got to take this bolt off first. And you can see this is the standard bolt here. Now, if you had where, for example, you had a sometimes these bolts, it's actually the pin as well. That's the whole slider pin is the caliper bolt itself. It's got the whole extra piece at the top that slides all the way in. Then you can just take this off, grease it up, and then put it in and just go hand tight on it. And then you do the top and you swing the caliper down. In this case here, though, we can't do that. So, well, we can actually to some degree, but not in the same way. So I'm going to go to the top, and I'm just going to loosen the top, right? If you didn't even loosen all the way, I'm going to lift that right out. Let me back up. The point is to try to get the pin that's at the bottom here. Now, depending on the car and everything like that, most pull out in some way. This here, I just move the boot aside and pull that pin right out. And we're just going to put that and drop that down for a second. You can see this is the pin here. Now, I always say to do the pin one at a time, especially if you're new to it. That way you don't mix them up or anything. But always note, most pins, the one will have this kind of rubber seal, one will not. So note where the seal is and everything. In this case here, I clean it up. Make sure it's a clean rag, no other grease or anything. Where I'm cleaning, there's no other grease or anything like that. All right. Then I'm just going to take some caliper lube. Any type of good quality brake lube or anything like that will work. And I'm going to lube up the pin. Get a good coating on there and everything. Inspect it for as well. When you pulled it out, you see it had some grease on it, which means it's still got a lot of grease in there, which is good. A lot of or lube, I should say. But if you pull it out and it happens to be dry, then you want to pack on more. Right? You don't want to overpack it because then you just put it in and it's going to splash out and make a big mess. So now we're just going to lift the caliper up and push that right back in. Make sure the boot reseals. Okay. Once that's done, I'm going to drop this back down. And get that back over the pin. There. Now we're going to put that bolt back in. I have to move it a bit to get myself in a slightly better position here. And now same thing, you just want to go hand tight for now. All right. And now you're going to loosen the top one. Now this is going to be a little different. So when you pull this off, still going to be doing the same. Actually, sorry. So I loosened that one just in case you're wondering. I didn't adjust the camera. Sorry about that. This one here and then that. And we're just going to pull that down. Oh, actually. Unforeseen. Now this actually, I've done these many times, and I actually did this first time I'm doing it on this car. Didn't even realize this here, but because of the brake line being so short, normally I would pull this all the way down, get access to the pads. However, I'm now realizing because this line is short, I can't pull all this down. So that's okay. We're actually going to do this in reverse. So first, I'm going to pull that back off. We're going to grease this up. You can see it there. I'm going to take a clean part of that cloth that I was using there. Make note, no seal at the end, right? So we're just going to take our caliper lube. Now, if you are seeing where there's a lot of gunk, buildup, rust, or anything like that, get something that's a lint-free cloth, and you can put it in there to clean it up. Or you could spray something like a little bit of grease or anything in there and allow it to run out, break it down. But, you know, work with what you have. Try and avoid doing that if you can. It's only last resort. But same thing here now. I'm just going to go in. Avoid getting any contaminants. Don't drop it or anything. I'm not letting it contact even the brake hose there. Push it in. Make sure the seal goes back right around. Right? The whole idea is to be able that it moves. So we're going to push that back in now. So now this is a little more difficult, a little more annoying in my opinion, but not a big deal. Because normally I just like when I swing this right open and it just sits nice and open. So it's hanging down here. You can just take the pads out and take a look at them and check them out and everything. This is going to be slightly different because of how that brake line is. So we're going to open this up. Once again, pull that back. Now, as you can see, this is just sitting up here like this. So, you may want, if you want to get some string or something and put it through here, and just put it around on the spring and just tie a knot so this doesn't fall. I'm not going to do that, but just to warn you on it. Now, what you're going to do is first, you're going to take off the pads, but you're going to note anything. Some of them have a squeal sensor. This is like a little thing that sticks out and goes down, and that'll touch the rim as the brakes get low or anything like that. Some pads are the same on both sides, some are different. One is different than the other. So you want to be noting all that because if something comes out or anything, you want to note their position. Now, then you're going to take the pad, take it out. I'm not going to bother to take it out here. These are new pads. I just put these in last year. But you're going to take a look at the pads, pull them out, and you're gonna, actually, you know what? Fine, let's do it. Why not? And what you're going to look for is you're going to look for any breaks. You're going to look and see if the pad has become separated from the backing disc. You're going to take a look and see if there's any buildup, accumulations, cracks, anything that's happening on the pad. And you're going to inspect all that for any type of damages. At the same time, you can do another quick check on the rotor, make sure everything looks good here. There's no problems. Everything is just in good working order. So now you go ahead and inspect around the pistons and the piston rings, whether you have 1, 2, 4, whatever your car is. Check around, make sure there's no leaks, no tears, no breaks, nothing where dirt's getting in, anything like that. So you're just inspecting all that to see. And the last thing you do before you put everything back together is you want to put something onto the backing plates, onto the shims of the brake pads. This is to prevent any vibration or that squeak you get when you reverse sometimes or anything. So I use, for example, disc brake quiet, but you know, use whatever works for you. And you just give a little spray. Watch out for overspray. So if you want to get a cloth or something and you want to put it there, block it up, piece of cardboard, whatever the case is. So I normally just give it a minute to set, and do the same for the other side as well. Now, normally I'd actually go and look, hold my breath and do it because this stuff does smell and it's not good for you. But because the camera's here, I'm just going to show you. I wouldn't do this upside down like this, nor would I do it blind either, to be honest. Okay. Give it a second just to kind of get a little tacky. And then you drop your caliper right back down. Okay, so then we just get the same thing as before. So we just put that back over, get our caliper bolt, line it up. And then you just tighten up the specifications, whatever the specifications are. Oh, in this case here, if you have one of these that move, right, sometimes you need to get a wrench. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you what the numbers are because every car will be different. You got to know your specifications are, at least for the caliper bolts. You don't need to do the torque member bolts that are at the back here. As you can see, that's not required. So you just do those. Now, from here, depending on how everything went, you can spray a little more brake clean if you got any, if your fingers touched here or anything. Obviously, you don't want it to get any here because you've put any lube or grease or disc brake quiet or whatever the case is on the backing plate here. So you don't want to put any of this on here, it's just going to wash that off. But you know, if you want, you can just take a quick spray around there, get anything else off. Let that run out for a second. Then you just put your wheel on, raise up your jack, remove your jack stands and lower the car, tighten your wheels to the lug nut specifications, and you're all done. You've serviced your brakes, and you're good to go. Now the YouTube stuff. I always love a great feedback, so make sure right off the bat to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Now, if you like something on the channel, definitely like it. Give it that thumbs up. If you disliked it, thumbs down for sure. But let me know why. That's what the comment section are for. And whatever it is, if you like something, then I know it's working. And if you dislike something, then I know something didn't. But let me know why, so I can continue to build a channel and make it better for me and for you. Aside from that, commenting is great too. So if there's something you can do better, something you can do different, any tips for other viewers, I'm all about that too. So make sure to put that in there. If you have a question about something that's maybe not even related directly to the video, leave that for me as well. Other than that, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next video.